Hello, beautiful people. Thank you for joining in. Today we're going to slow down our breath a little bit more. More specifically, dive into our breath a little bit more. We don't want to make it slower than it wants to be, but we do want to slow it down to a comfortable pace. And today I'm going to tell you one of the reasons we do this. And in yoga, we talk about our sense organs. Our sense organs physiologically are part of our brain that is receiving information from the outside world. So what we see, what we smell, what we touch, all of those impulses are coming from the brain into our sense organs. Fingers, ears, tongue, eyes, skin, and I may have forgotten one, smell, nose. So those are all extensions of our brain looking for information so that we can orient ourselves in the world. Now, we also have a lot of impulses vying for our attention, different foods, different entertainment, the news, all kinds of things going on around us that are pulling our sense organs out and bringing us out of our core. So when we focus on our breath, we're finding a simple technology that lets us draw all of our sense organs back in to a quietness within ourselves where we can rest, rejuvenate, initiate the parasympathetic nervous system for relaxation, which is also where we heal and where we can rest and refresh ourselves. So I'm going to slide my chair back a little bit so that you can see a little bit more of my torso, and we'll begin with a little bit of seated awareness of our breath. So what we always do first in these little sessions is find our posture. So that involves feeling the earth and where she supports us. So seated, we want to feel through our feet. Take a moment and close your eyes if you wish and just notice what the soles of your feet are feeling. Whether you've got shoes, socks, a lot of us are barefoot now. We're not going out to work, we may be barefoot at home. And you can even wiggle your toes and feel the ground. Really feel your feet. It's a way of grounding ourselves. Sometimes with news, with busyness, with working on the computers, a lot is going on up here. So we're dropping that energy down into a quieter foundation. So we feel our feet. And we'll also in the chair feel our hips. So rocking a little bit from side to side is a nice way to feel the feet of the pelvis. You can even tip the waistline back and forward. And we're taking our time. We're not rushing through this to get it done. This is our opportunity to slow down and tune in. And if you want to start coordinating the breath, we can often exhale as we rock the pelvis back and inhale as we rock it forward. Now, of course, the upper body is going to come along with it, but right now we're savoring the initiation through the pelvis and the hips. And let's circle here. So take the pelvis through a little bit of a circle on the chair, as though your pelvis is a salad bowl, circling slow motion around the chair seat. And let's circle a few times the other way, continuing to breathe naturally and smiling gently. Make sure it feels really nice. We want to leave a memory impression of a very pleasant experience. And then come and sit up tall. And now let's feel the balance of the sit bones. We've got the feet, we've got the sit bones. Now let's create that sense of elongation. So today let's tap a little bit all over the scalp, but mostly focusing on the top of the head. So let's actually go from the third eye to the base of the skull a couple of times, and then from the center top to the ears. So where that line goes from the third eye to the base of the skull and where it intersects, where the ears join, it's like a headband or your headphones. So that point, locate that point or close to that point and tap there. And then imagine that you have a magic cord, an elastic cord that gently elongates you and connects you to your own personal star or to the heavens above. So now hopefully you're feeling this sense of connection to the ground while simultaneously feeling a light lift. And let's enjoy that for a few moments. Martha Graham would call this the perpendicular between heaven and earth. And this is where our most beautiful posture and freedom lives. So we add a soft smile because we want to stay open to possibilities and do not mistake the fact that joy and pleasant thoughts create a whole other hormonal flow through the body. So thinking about pleasant things, remembering pleasant things, thinking about health, radiance, joy, your loved ones, your favorite hobbies, all of this feeds the chemistry of the body. So we also circulate joy, and that soft smile is our way to do so. Now let's talk about expansion of the breath. A really simple way to start is to rest the hands over the navel, low belly area, and you choose wherever it's comfortable for you. And let's exhale with a light hissing sound, because this gives us the opportunity to easily draw in some of the abdominal muscles. So we're not pulling in, we don't have to do that. The sound itself plus your relaxation and curiosity will naturally create a little bit of sleekening. So let's try that together. Inhale gently through the nose and your belly will fill. And now take all the time you need to get that breath out softly. Your breath may be longer than mine, it may be shorter, but what we want is to really feel our breath. And notice that sense of little bit of sculpting in. It's so gentle, but it is moving the core muscles. When you come to the end of that, just let your inhalation come in naturally. Let's do one more together at our own pace. When you come to the end of your breath, let it settle and allow your inhalation to fill you. Now we're going to continue exhaling through the nose, feeling the relaxation and the emptying. Might not be as long as that hissing exhale. That's okay. We're really being in the moment. This is training to be in the moment. When your body needs to inhale, you're inhaling through the nose and feeling the belly expand gently. And when it's your time to exhale, you're exhaling gently through the nose and simply noticing how the belly relaxes and draws in on its own. We're now looking for a comfortable, smooth rhythm that's perfect for us right now today. Expanding kindly and gently as we inhale, and sleekening kindly and gently as we exhale. We're not adding anything, we're not squeezing anything. We're basically inviting the breath to lead. And we're putting our brain in a very good place, which is to supervise, not to boss everybody around, but to gently keep everything focused so that the breath has its opportunity to do what it knows best. And since we're concentrating on the breath, the belly is a quick way in. And if you only have a little bit of time in the day and you want to tap into your breath, feel your feet, feel your crown, smile, and cultivate some slow, unctuous belly breathing. Today together, we're going to go a little further. So we're going to lay our hands on different parts of the body and explore in the same kind, relaxed way how the breath might fill those areas. So let's take our thumbs up into our armpits and rest our fingers along the top of our chest. Oops, that's my microphone. And the elbows are not all the way down, not all the way up. They're just a little bit spacious, as though you have a pillow of air underneath each armpit. And as we inhale, we want to gently direct the breath into the area where we feel our hands and thumbs. So there's a plumping, a fluffing, opening in the chest and armpit area, and then this relaxes and softens as we exhale. We're maintaining our connection to the heavens and the earth throughout. So we're not losing height, we're moving our volume and our width and our breadth. Let's take one more breath. You can even close your eyes. And relaxing here. We'll lower the hands and we'll collect the belly breath and the armpit chest breath. The body will do this quite naturally. And notice how your breath is feeling. Notice how your mood is feeling. Not judging, not fixing, just noticing. And now we're going to take 2 more breaths. The next one is to feel the lower ribs. And you can do this with the thumb and index fingers I'm demonstrating. You can even use the backs of the hands or the palms. It really has to do with what leaves your shoulder girdle and neck comfortable. And once again, we feel where the hands contact the body, and we gently guide and invite our breath to that area. So we're working on small areas of focus. Feeling the breath go in as we exhale, going in towards the spinal column. And as we inhale, expanding, fanning, widening. And we'll do one more here, liberating the lungs and the ribs. We're unsticking parts of the body that sometimes get stuck. And we're going to relax the hands and just savor. Everything is accumulating. If we just relax, the breath naturally wants to join all of the pieces together. So we've got the belly, we've got the upper chest and armpit area, and we've got the sides of the ribs. And now I'm going to turn around because this area is often neglected. It's often where anxiety tightens us up. We want to brace ourselves. So we want to unbrace and we want to touch the back of the body. And again, shoulders may say, ooh, I like holding up higher, or I like it lower. Essentially, this is a reminder. It's like a bookmark. And wherever you have your hands, really feel that. And as you inhale, invite the breath to plump the inside of the body to expand into your palms. And as you exhale, let the breath leave your body. That area gets a little sleeker. It's as though the inhalation creates an expansion into the back, and the exhalation lets the back move towards the center core, the core being that inner channel from top to bottom. So the back is expanding, and you're letting it expand until it's done. The mind is just observing, and when your body wants to exhale, you're letting that exhale happen very, very naturally, and you're letting it happen until it's done. And there's no tension because you're not holding the breath. There's no rushing because you're curious about following the lead of the breath. And now let's relax our hands, and we're going to continue to sit tall for a few moments and let all of those areas join together. Yoga means union, so we take things apart so that we can detail them, and then we always want to put them back together to unify them. So as we inhale, you're gently feeling belly, armpits, ribs, back, everything is expanding. As you exhale, everything is gently relaxing back in. And it's multidimensional. I'm showing sideways, but it's also going front to back. It's also happening up here. And we're feeling all of that together in whatever way we comfortably interpret that. We don't want to tighten the mind. We don't want to rush ahead. We just want to trust that what we've done is enough. And the natural joy of the body to be given this opportunity will automatically flood all of those areas. It's so much easier to do it this way. Does anybody feel in this live, anybody feel an expansion of the breath or a calming down? You can send a heart up or a thumbs up if anybody's feeling that. I know I'm feeling a lot calmer, a lot looser than I did beforehand. It was a bit of a busy morning before coming to you, so this is helping me a lot as well. Let's translate a little bit of this into standing. Just simple flows today so that we can really, really savor the breath. Sometimes when we get a more complicated movement, then we knock ourselves up into the brain again and we drop the real connection. So anyone out there watching who practices vinyasa yoga or qigong, anything that is flow-based, coming from the breath first is what really makes vinyasa. It's not about the movements. It's about the breath and how the movements are linked to the breath and to a calm mind. So here we are standing, we're feeling our feet. We know about connecting through the crown of the head up to the sky, so we have that long, relaxed quality. And let's just touch into our breath. We're going to add a little bit of shoulder movement. The inhale is not changing, we're just adding a component of raising the shoulders, and those shoulders are melting down softly as we exhale. The shoulder girdle and the shoulders float up on the inhale, and the exhale invites them to flow down. And you have the whole length of the breath to fit that movement. The whole inhalation is the lifting, and the whole exhalation is the lowering. Let's add some knees to this. So the knees are already pretty straight. That's the inhalation. As the shoulders float down, the knees bend a little bit, but the spine doesn't shrink. Inhale, the knees are straightening a little bit as the shoulder girdle lifts. And exhale, everything is lowering. Relax the shoulder girdle a little bit and just do the knees. The knees are straightening a bit as you inhale. The knees are softening a little bit as you exhale. And now rest a little bit. We're just going to loosen the wrists. So the back of the wrist rises on the inhale. The fingers lift up and the heel of the hand lowers on the exhale. So we're getting some wrist flexion. This is wrist flexion. And this is wrist extension. Anatomists go crazy if you say that this is flexion. This is extension. So we want to feel that little bit of a stretch, and we want to feel the lead of the heels of the hands, and then we want to feel the backs of the wrists as though we have a little string attached, and then there's a little string attached on the underside of the wrist. Now the string that's attached to the top of the wrist lifts up, and when we exhale, the string attached to the lower part. So now let's put that all together. Start with your knees bent and your palms facing the ground. Wait for the inhalation, and the string at the back of the wrists is going to rise up as the knees rise. And wait for the exhalation, and then that initiates the string on the underside of the wrists and the knees bend. Wait for the inhalation. It's the breath that is initiating all of the movement. And then the exhalation tells you it's time for the wrists, the inner wrists, and the knees. And this is what we're going to do. We're just going to dive in really deep to this. Let this be about the inhalation, and the body is creating a shape that optimizes your breath. And wait for the exhalation. We don't want any breath or movement left over. The inhalation starts a fraction of a second before the rising of the backs of the hands and the straightening of the knees. And the exhalation begins just before. It's like a thread that starts to draw, like a needle that starts to draw the thread through the stitch. Really dive into your breath. Inhaling. Fill the chest, the sides, the back. Exhaling, gently let everything relax. Now, as you practice this, you want to keep a flow. You don't want to end up in the position and hold. You want this to be a wave of breath nurturing your body. Variations that are possible are some of you might instinctively wish to raise the wrists and the fingers higher, and then they will travel further as they lower. Some of you may even wish to experiment going lower, but that's all going to depend on your unique anatomy, your comfortable biomechanics, because we want this to feel like joy, like unctuous joy circulating through the body-mind. I invite everybody to try a few where you really let the shoulder girdle and the fingertips rise so that you get a little bit of feeling of stretch in the trunk. Maybe try 2, possibly 3 of those. If they're not for you to do more than that, then go back to something more modest. Also, anybody with shoulder problems, work within the range of motion that is absolutely pain-free for you. And let's do 3 more. Make these the most beautiful. Make this the most beautiful, beautiful piece of art or music, that everything, the breath is conducting the orchestra of your body. And it's all about the flow. And when you're finished, let your hands float down. Step your feet together, moving as though you're still guided by the breath, settling the energy at the lowest center, which is very grounding. Feel the connection up to the sky. Smile. Continue breathing, treasuring the gift of your breath. It is always with us. We can always use the medicine of our breath to change our energy. It is a precious gift. I often call it the jewel in the crown of yoga. And feel your belly expanding as you inhale. Feel it settling and relaxing as you exhale. Feel your back and ribs expanding at the same time as you inhale. Feel them relaxing as you exhale. Feel your chest and collarbones also joining in. The whole inner body is expanding and relaxing, resting in the arms of the breath. And if you wish to feel the gentle breeze flowing, you can be the stalk of bamboo, supple, vertical, able to move with the changes, not brittle, allowing, and then letting this gentle breeze come to its natural finish, leaving you calm and supple and suspended on the perpendicular between heaven and earth, without any need to harden, hold anything. And this brings our practice today to an end. I wish you a very peaceful, breath-filled day, and know that you can return to your breath at any time. Anytime you think of it during the day, bring yourself back to a few moments of connecting to sky, to earth, to smile, and to that beautiful breath. Goodbye, beautiful friends. See you next time.